In this game, the stakes are high. Win, and you claim the entirety of your opponent's wealth, but lose, and you're instantly reduced to rags. The rules are simple. Both parties exchange their assets for equivalent gold bars, placing them on the scale. The one with the heaviest side wins. The game spans 5 intense hours, featuring Japan's wealthiest individuals standing on either side of the scale, one with white hair and the other with little mustache. The game commences in earnest, and they promptly bring all their assets for an on-the-spot evaluation. White-haired begins with around 50 billion, while little mustache trails slightly at 40 billion. The stage then shifts to a phase of outside assistance. In the first round, little mustache displays his powerful social network. Friends and allies stream in, one after another. However, something peculiar becomes evident. These friends all sport discontented expressions. As it turns out, they are employees of Little Mustache Company. He coerced them into lending money and supporting his participation in the game, threatening to terminate their employment otherwise. Soon enough, Little Mustache's pile of gold significantly grows. His friends may be just a few, but they're wealthy through and through. Take, for example, this elderly gentleman, the most famous renowned collector in the country. He's brought ivory and coral, priceless if you can say. But the organizers, to our surprise, deemed these items unfit for the game. They said their worth they couldn't appraise. This left Lil Shuai in a craze. Little Mustache told him, "Don't you see, this is the game's decree. If you don't agree, why sign the deal?" But White-haired remained serene. He had one last ace card. A friend with wealth beyond compare, brought 5 billion in gold. If all went as planned, White-haired would win. But then, his friend said, "I'm sorry," turned and handed the gold to the other side. It turns out that Little Mustache used his child's life as a threat a few days ago, forcing the friend to conspire, and thus, with a twist so cruel, Little Mustache went beyond White-haired. But then, a wealthy lady walked right through the door, without a single care. She extended her hand, a check worth 10 billion there. Little Mustache introduced her to all, saying with a smile, "She is my wife and we just got married yesterday." Lil Shuai was rather agitated. "You just married her just for the game," he declared. Little Mustache quickly defended, "Love at first sight, isn't it a lovely affair?" As they displayed their affection in the air. At this moment, White-haired brother arrived. He presented a land deed worth 50 billion. Seemed like White-haired had surely won the game. But to everyone's dismay, as experts appraised, the land deed was declared worthless. No surprise that Little Mustache had played a mischievous trick. He bribed the officials, and polluted the nuclear toxic wastewater on the land. Thus, the land counted nothing. Now, Lil Shuai finally realized that someone from their camp had a traitor who spilled their strategies. But who had spilled their secrets? However, White-haired consistently loses each match, leading the Lil Shuai to suspect there might be a traitor in his camp. And indeed, it's the bespectacled man, White-haired's secretary, known as Glasses. Unbeknownst to everyone, Glasses is White-haired's illegitimate son. He holds a grudge against White-haired for abandoning his mother years ago, so he endures humiliation and sticks around White-haired, all in the hope of someday avenging his mother. Glasses hands over a painting White-haired once gave to his mother to the organizers, with the plan to exchange it for gold bricks to ruin White-haired. However, the appraisal reveals soon that the painting is worth just half a gold coin. It's not even a famous masterpiece, but something White-haired painted himself. Furthermore, White-haired didn't abandon Glasses' mother. She died in childbirth. It's all a big misunderstanding. Once Little Mustache learns the truth, he becomes furious, berating Glasses as worthless and telling him to take his half-gold coin and leave, as he's no longer of any use. 10 individuals stand on the rooftop, all set to jump simultaneously. Only one person's rope won't snap, while the remaining 9 will meet their destiny to death. As a reward, the survivor can claim 10 times the betting amount. Lil Shuai, in a rush to amass 10 billion, goes all in with his 1 billion. Upon learning of Lil Shuai's participation, Little Mustache breaks into laughter, for he has already bribed the organizers. As long as Lil Shuai joins, his fate is sealed. Before the words could settle, the timer ran out. Little Mustache secures victory with a lead of 10 billion, while White-haired, unable to face defeat, succumbs to death on the spot. Yet, in the next moment, Lil Shuai storms in with 10 billion gold bars. Little Mustache is surprised and his face is just like the third emoji from your phone. Lil Shuai had already figured out that the 9 lives, 1 survives scenario was rigged. Regardless of the number he picked, he would ultimately meet his demise. So, he had the Glasses shut down the power to the control panel in advance, ensuring that the winning number would be the same as the previous round. But, nonetheless, time for the game had elapsed. Lil Shuai, after winning a 10 billion fortune in the game, places a pile of gold bricks on the scale. The balance tips back and forth, teetering precariously, ultimately tilting in favor of the sly Little Mustache. Just as Little Mustache revels in his triumph, the minute hand of the clock stirs, sending several gold coins tumbling onto Lil Shuai's scale. However, Little Mustache vehemently claims the coins are irrelevant, as the game has already concluded. Quick to respond, Lil Shuai argues that all coins invested within the game's time frame remain valid. The scale quickly settles, with Little Mustache Mustache still emerging as the apparent victor. Just as he gloats over his apparent success, the clock's minute hand wavers once more, releasing yet another gold coin. When the balance finally steadies, Lil Shui secures the ultimate victory. Picking up the last coin, he is astonished to discover it's the half coin that Little Mustache had despised and discarded. And so, Lil Shui wins the game, while Little Mustache, despite his devious deeds, fails to secure victory, ultimately reduced to destitution.